It's a tough subject with Dennis Gillan and Jessica Seal. You know why we call it that, Jessica?
Because it is a tough subject.
You know it. Boy, I had a tough week. I had a anniversary of a loss, which is always crap week. And you don't even know it affects you, but it affects you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't even have to look at the calendar. You start getting this feeling and angst, and I'm already an a-hole, and I become a bigger a-hole if we're going to bleep out those words, right? So I'm trying not to curse, but I'm already irritable as a cranky old man, and I'm getting like crankier, and I can look at the calendar and go, oh, oh.
What day? My dad's birthday was this week, so I feel
Uh,
you.
Matt was, there's some controversy about Matt's death because it happened over a weekend. We didn't find him. So he went out drinking the night of July 16th. This is according to my time, talking to his friends, my timeline, talking to his buddies at the time. So somewhere like in the morning of the 17th, back in his apartment, drunken stupor, access to lethal means, and then didn't show up for work on the 18th of July, 1994, and that's a Monday. So I got the call that Monday, that he's gone, but he probably expired, which is a terrible way of putting it. Sunday morning, wee hours, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Young man going out, having a good time, getting home past midnight, which puts him into Sunday, which would be the 17th. And then 18th rolls around. I go back home. 19th, 20th, 21st is when I got hammered. So I had 2 anniversaries this week. And then we buried him the next day. So the 21st for me of July was my 32nd anniversary of sobriety.
Which is my dad's 76th birthday. Would have been my dad's 76th.
Would have been. Oh, it's on his birthday. Wow. Crazy how
That's weird. I know. And also what you just said, and this makes me think about something I want us to talk about, is I did not have a death date either because kind of the same thing. There was some assumptions made about, you know, when it actually happened because he wasn't found for a couple days.
yeah. And that happens with a loss from suicide, or even a tragic loss. Like there are sometimes people go missing and they found a car accident. They drove into a
Mm-hmm.
pond or something. Just when you're not like it's not like you're in a hospice situation and they call the time of death and everything's
Mm-hmm.
documented, and hopefully you're really old and everything goes according to plan. But with a sudden traumatic that you don't find the person for a while because they're supposed to be at work and they're not there, and there's an empty chair and people go, where are they? Where are they? And they start
Mm-hmm.
calling around and say, well, I'll go by his house. And that's what happened. They went by the house and said, oh crap.
Yeah. Yeah. That's tough,
Mm.
tough, tough, tough. Um, I,
Like it
I
was yesterday.
so what do all these things have in common is they're men that we're talking about, brothers and fathers. And then you're having a down week. And it just, this week has been interesting. Somebody I'm very close to, a male, is struggling with depression.
Mm.
And men, I'm a woman, you know this. How we deal with things like that is
Allegedly.
so, trust me,
We
is
don't know these
so
days.
different than, I know, right? Than, how I would. And I struggle to help this person. Uh,
Well, that's it's a men need men kind of thing almost. Women need women sometimes, but
yeah.
sometimes I'm not. We have to cross those sex boundaries and say, if you detect someone's hurting. My favorite therapists, by the way, have all been female. I tried a dude once and we just butted heads. Out
Yeah,
of
mine is too.
all
Yeah,
mine were female.
I had a bad experience with a male therapist too. Isn't that weird?
Wow, it's just any therapist. Let's take the sex out of it. You have to
Yeah.
click. It's like kind of
Yes.
like dating. So I love when people go, I tried therapy, it didn't work. I didn't like the person.
I
Well, you
went
gotta try
once.
somebody else
I
once.
wasn't healed once. You know, people say that. I'm like, this is not a one and done. I've been seeing my therapist for 10 years.
Wow.
Same
What
one.
what's been helping me lately with these anniversaries and stuff because it happened. It came right around the same time. I facilitate a survivor meeting, a survivor suicide loss meeting, and that helped because that was on July 16th. I'm looking at a calendar, and somewhere around the 16th. I went through like a big funk, but being around people who sort of get what I got, I said I have an
Mm-hmm.
anniversary this week, and they all shook their heads like, oh yeah. And then we started sharing, like your dad's birthday. We started sharing
Mm-hmm.
out, and I don't know if anyone out there is connected to a survivor of loss meeting, but we need more of them. They could do them virtual, but ours is in person. Ours is once a month, and I ended up starting it because suicide's a complicated grief. But the weird thing about it is, I thought I'd be the facilitator and run the meeting. I get more out of the meeting, I think, than the participants because of my situation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I come home
Yeah.
tapped. My wife's like, how'd it go? I said, oh, these people are awesome. They help me out, and I go to bed. It's crazy. That's how it works.
I I definitely um have not been to a loss meeting. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. I am more of a like I just the group thing kind of
All right.
freaks me out. I don't
Yeah,
know
I'm not.
why. I wish I wasn't like that, but I found that I don't know. I feel like I'm a little selfish about it, which is bizarre to say, but I'm an honest
Everybody,
person.
everybody handles it differently. That's the fact. That's one thing you learn. Um, everybody, trauma impacts you differently. The loss meetings, what I have to do, talking about setting them up, we're doing another thing called local outreach to survivors of suicide, where we're going. And for months, Jess, not months, we started it, we kicked it off in a small county in South Carolina. It's called Local Outreach to Survivors of Suicide Loss. And for weeks, we did nothing. So here I am. I'm like a great volunteer, like, oh, this is an awesome assignment. I put together this team, and they don't need us. So like I get all the credit in the world for doing absolutely zero. And then on Friday we got our first call. This is my brother's anniversary now.
I was about to say, please tell me it wasn't on your brother's
It
anniversary.
was, and then Sunday while in church, we got two more. Two more.
In that particular county.
Yes,
We're
and
talking
I had
about
a
three in a weekend in a
yeah,
small rural town
3 in 3 days. Yeah.
community. Wow.
So I went into panic mode. I literally had a panic attack. But if you're gonna have a panic attack, do it at church. Because
Yeah.
and I never do this. They had this. They had the pastor said something like, "Hey, we have people that will pray for you in the back if you need it." And I always blow it off like, I'm good." I looked at my wife and said, "I'm going downstairs." And because I got the text while I was in church, and I did look at it because I had the Bible app. I used my phone for the Bible app, and it popped up. I'm like, damn it. And then seriously, 10 minutes later, I'm like, double damn it. I'm like, are you kidding me?
God, 10 minutes later.
Yeah, literally the back to back, and two different coroners in the same office were dispatched to two different scenes. Now, this is where it's a tricky little thing. So far, I have not said the county. I have not said any specifics. I don't want to talk about, and we're going to rely on our producer, Tim. If I ever get specific, he's got to beep it out because I'm really trying to talk in like guarded tones because I don't want to reveal anything to anybody. It's personal, but I will reveal that we made 2 home visits, and we have a third one looming. And the third one, the funeral is today. We've talked on the phone, and these people who have suffered the loss, when they hear from someone that has a loss, they're so appreciative so far. 3 for 3. One was a little rough because it was just so raw. Raw, and I started crying. I'm the guy who's supposed to be there for support, and I started crying because it's also my brother's anniversary. Like, oh, so I just went. I just said, "Can I have a tissue?" And I'm supposed to be the guy there to help him out. I'm human. I just like, give me a tissue, please.
I don't think that's bad. I think
I don't think so.
if somebody feels something and it feels authentic. If you're there and
Oh,
you're very guarded and very,
yeah,
robotic, and that would make me uncomfortable. So
yeah, I get it.
I don't have a problem with that.
I didn't expect it though. I thought I'd walk in there, I'd be the voice of reason. 32 years down the road. My other brother was 11 years, so 43 years down the road. I'm like, I got this, and I walked in, I just lost it because it comes flooding back. And human, you're right. By the way, you mentioned something. I want to harp on this a little bit. The men thing. You started.
Yes, I'm looking at your hat, the Camo Hat Club, and I'm thinking immediately, I wish you had one of those here in where I live in the center of the state, because I know someone that could really use that. That, like you said, man to man, open discussion and not feeling, because I think this person feels, and I'm also going to be guarded because it's someone very close to
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
I think this person feels alone in this.
Whoa, no, it's crazy. The Camo Hat Club is somewhat a dormant program because I got like sucked into lost teams, and I
Yes.
haven't given it much attention. I would like to have a project manager or somebody run with this because it's a great idea. But recently, via email, I got 3 emails from the website that's out there, camohatclub.com, saying, "Do you have one in Seattle?" That was one. "Do you have one in Milwaukee?" That was the other one, and one in Florida. And it's funny because people are asking, "Do you have a club?" And I write them back. I said, "No, but I have you. I need you
Mm.
to start one."
Mm.
And like for you, and here's, I had a woman come up to me one time, and I kind of got a little testy on LinkedIn about this. I was like, "I am not starting your club." She came up to me and she said, "My husband could use one of these," which females just perceive emotions better. You know, that she knows this guy's hurting. He could use one of these. She got it. I said, "Have him call me." I gave him my card. Do you think the guy called me? Hail to the no. Now here's a wife, a loving wife, saying this guy could use this. She gives him the card. I hope she did it. Said, "This guy has a thing. You need to start it." He probably took it, picked the little broccoli out of his teeth and threw it in the garbage.
Yeah, probably.
And I'm waiting for the responses. I went on the good people at the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention have this long-term survivors meeting. I couldn't go this year because of the lost team stuff I'm doing. It was in Baltimore. They put out a picture. It's on LinkedIn. And I gave it to my AI. I downloaded the photo. I said, "AI, tell me, based on this picture, how many people are men, how many people are women, percentage-wise?" And it came back. It said, after my analysis, because it had to blow it up, 85% of the participants were women.
Hmm. And look
Breaks
at the
my
correlation of more men are dying by
Yeah,
suicide, more women are attuned to this, and and you can't, and you can't make, I can't make this person do anything. I can't save this
no.
person. I can't, and it's very frustrating. I'm the kind of person, I like to fix things, which is my toxic trait. Is, I've been told, like, you don't always have to run to the rescue. You don't have to do this. It's just who I am. And I want to fix, and then I get frustrated and take it out. Yeah, it's
Person you're trying to fix, you start smacking them
yeah,
around.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, because sometimes I get frustrated with people. To your point, that man, woman, whatever, that consistently complain about the same things and don't really do the work to try to change things, if you will. I mean, it's okay for a while, but eventually it's like, okay, but what are you doing? And then I end up turning into this counselor. Am I a counselor? No, I have a social work degree. We had a little bit of, problem solving, but not anything where I would call myself prepared to deal with that. But I think I'm just a human, and I'm like, why, stop complaining and do something.
Yeah, that's what you get. But
And that's
doesn't
not right.
depression robs them of the ability to even, some of these folks, and God bless them, I'm on some of these sites, like the depression's so bad, and they'll take a picture of their room, and it's an absolute mess.
Yes.
And then the next picture will be like, "Hey, I got out of bed before noon today, and I cleaned up my room," and that's a huge victory.
Right.
It robs them of the ability. Like last week, during my little, I don't want to say pity party, I was actually depressed. I couldn't do squat. I couldn't concentrate. Um, I got people that are dependent on me. These volunteers were putting a meeting on. I was like, my mind was mush. So we have to give them a little bit of grace because depression robs you of the ability to focus on the fix. But you're right. After a while, you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make them drink. You
Yeah.
get a little bit of that mentality, like, all right. And the people that I really admire are the folks with lived experience who've come flying back, who lived experiences. Maybe there was an attempt, or I'm thinking of a dear friend who's went away twice to get better and ended. We had him on the show, Josh Gardner. He actually did the micro dose of electroconvulsive therapy. Like he was in the fight. He was really trying.
Mm.
He was doing everything the therapist said and keeping his therapy appointments. Like he was showing up even when he didn't feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
I love those guys that I tried therapy and I blew it off. You know, they wouldn't show up for their appointment. There it is, 10 o'clock. The therapist is waiting and they're not there. They're
I
not doing
think
the
some
work.
people do that because they don't want to hear what the therapist has to say. I know women who, I don't want to go to therapy. I don't want to do this. And I'm like thinking in my mind, because it's a mirror in front of your face, not in a negative way. Nobody's perfect. I mean, we all do things wrong, but I think sometimes if you have to look inside yourself and say, it's not everybody else around me. One of my favorite sayings is, if the whole world stinks, you should check your own nose. And it just goes to,
Yeah.
eventually you have to look inside yourself. I did when this person came to me and I was getting frustrated. And then I said, you really didn't handle that right. And you of all people. And I don't know if you ever feel this way. I think that comes with a little bit of maybe ego because, hey, I pulled myself out of something terrible. You should be able to do that too. I don't have time for that. And I felt that way because this person said, I've never been like this, and they're older, ever in my whole life. And they kept saying that. And I was like, but you are now. It's okay.
And it's all new to them.
Yeah. But I did not handle it right. And I will be honest with you.
That would be like a great therapist, like you go to the office and all the therapist says to you is snap out of it. Doc,
Yeah.
I'm doing this. Snap out of it. Doc, I don't feel like doing it. Snap out of it. Then he sends you a bill. Doctor, snap out of it. But
Or take this medicine.
Snap out.
Journal and take this medicine. Okay.
It is work. It is work.
It is.
And then there's a little bit of luck involved, I'll tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm. Chemicals in some people just
genetic predisposition. You can't pick your parents. Traumas that just came your way and you did nothing. And you think car accidents, stuff like just stuff happens. My younger brother was in a car accident. He was a backseat passenger. He didn't do anything to cause that thing. He was riding home and was injured. It's just this stuff. Some people just have bad effing luck. But
I agree.
There's a component. Back to the Camo Hat Club, the guy didn't call me. It's so easy to set up. This our little group. We have a text chain, and now maybe 18 guys are on it. Now you have to know 18 guys. I didn't know 18 guys. I knew one guy, and he knew a bunch of people. Perfect, right? So I don't care. I just want to be around men. So we set it up, and it looks like nobody's really running it, but there's two of us that are kind of running it. What happens? We meet on the first Thursday of every month. We have breakfast. We tried it weekly. I'm like, you know what? We're sick of each other. Weekly's a little much.
It's a lot, yeah.
It's a lot. So we went to monthly, and it works perfect. I love seeing these guys, and and if I didn't do it, I would never see them. Let's be honest, I wouldn't see them.
How did you get people to do that and to come? Like, where did it? Because I'm thinking right now, like, okay, what if this person did it because they need it? Maybe I'm wrong. And I know the people that he is around are these, well, we're men, we just suck it up and deal with it. And,
Don't assume that. Don't assume. There's an appetite for this stuff. There's an appetite for this. Here's what happened. I went through a divorce. And if, you're out there listening and you know what a great guy I am, you're like, who would divorce that guy? I know. I'm with you. I'm out there struggling, alone. That's when I did my loneliness talk, the TEDx talk, because the girl goes, why are you doing that? Because I'm alone right now. I ran into one guy in my apartment building. I went from a big house to a small apartment. And he knew some friends. He knew some people. He was a connector. I was not. That's the guy you need. So even if you're not a connector, I said, well, all right, let's do this. We're going to do it breakfast. Let's have breakfast. So we start out small, 3 or 4 guys. First time it was me, him, and another guy. It was three guys. He invited someone else. All right, we got something here. Then we tried weekly. Nah, that's too much. Then people started coming. One time, only 2 people showed up, me and another guy. And you got to be ready for that. But I don't mind. I like the other guy, and I want to eat breakfast. We eat breakfast. I'm like, I'm going to get a meal. I don't care if no one showed up, I'm eating. Victory. I have breakfast out, and I'm cool with that. So one night, it was me and this guy, Jack. It was just 2 of us, like, hi. And then
You didn't know him before, or you did know him? Or?
I knew him.
Okay.
I got to know him a lot better. I love the guy now. It's just, we all share stuff. And then COVID hit. We did it outside for a while. We could do that in South Carolina. And it's a text chain. And somewhere on that, remember, it's the first Thursday, somewhere around that Monday or Tuesday, me and the other guy text each other. And we say, hey, are you going to send out the text chain or me? And we alternate or whatever. He goes, I'll send it out. And then you say, I'm coming. So there is a little behind the scenes work. That's it. Not much. The list isn't there. And people have come on the list and people have requested to come off the list.
Mm-hmm.
They're not showing up. But on a regular basis, we get about 4 to 6 guys, and that's all I need. The other day, we had to put 2 tables together. We had 8. And today, it's weird to say that. We're talking about men and mental health. Today, we're doing a field trip. There's a barbecue place that these guys were talking about. And finally, the guy we're at breakfast goes, why don't we all go together? So today, we're going to a barbecue place at 11:30. It's like
such a man thing to do. Men eat barbecue, at least here in the South. Yes. Buffet.
We're going to eat meat and talk about all the girls we never had. Never. There was an N in front of that. So stuff like that, it's going to happen. No, and then we have some rules though, Jess. And
okay.
No politics, no religion. And I'm a believer, but it's not. It'll eke out of me. You'll feel it. There'll be times I'll say, hey, I do this thing at church. You'll get it. But it's not time for me to come at you with the Bible and say, hey, you got to come with me. Follow me. It's a time for fellowship, for sure. But it's not right. And one guy tried to talk politics one time.
Well, heck, that'll make your mental health worse. No.
We booted him out. We took him off the chain. He doesn't get the text anymore. He doesn't get them. He's off.
I want to go back to something you said before the not talking about religion, which is hard for us because we're Christians. It's hard for me, but it is so key to not shame people through that means, because older people, and with my father, we may have talked about this before, have this mindset of, if you're a good Christian, then you shouldn't have these issues. Worrying is a sin. And a person I work with was in a meeting the other day about drug addiction. And there were faith-based leaders in there. And that was the message that they were giving is, they just need to come to church and, do this and that. And I was like, I'm so glad I wasn't in that room. I don't think I could have held myself together. I would have been respectful because that's, I have to be because that's who I am. But I was like, don't use that, because that's, I believe, one of the reasons that my father was shamed so much, that, he felt like he wasn't worthy. And that makes me sad when I see people doing that. It's a powerful tool to use against someone.
Yeah. And it's sort of, because of the work we do in suicide prevention, even with these lost teams, we tread lightly in that arena because people at that moment are mad at God. And the reason I know this is I was mad at God. I buried 2 brothers to suicide. You'd think we're on a first name basis. Hey, God. Hey, Dennis, how are you? I'm doing peachy. I'm like, what the heck just happened? Shaking my fist at the sky kind of stuff. But also, there's a guy right now, back to the Camo Hat Club. He's at a church camp right now. He told us, I'm at the church camp. It comes out,
That's, I'm going to church Sunday. Yeah. Where do you go to church?
Yeah. Where do you go? It comes out, but you don't want to be over. It's not the place or time for it. And it's called the soft sell, I guess. There was a book years ago, just soft sell it. Don't come out. And the hard sell Christians drive me out of my mind. The Bible thumping, hitting you over the head. They drive more people away.
Don't get me started. Yeah, we don't need to talk about this. I have very strong feelings. I mean, I spent many of my, the first part of my dad's death as a young person thinking that my dad was in hell. We've had this discussion before.
Oh, yeah.
The worst possible thing. And now if somebody were to say that to me, you might be getting me out of jail, Dennis. It might not be pretty.
We'll put a bail fund.
And it'd be worth it. I'd walk in with a smile on my face and gladly put that orange suit on.
Your mugshot would have a smile
I'd
on
be,
it. I knocked that sucker right out.
no, that's
One punch to
horrible.
the throat.
Yeah, I have so many feelings, but also, it's hard as a Christian to feel that way. But I also say
Welcome,
it's people. It's not
welcome to two
Jesus.
Christians talking about knocking people out.
That's right. Hey, we're humans. That's right. We're real. We're not going to
We
pretend
will
like we're
ask
not
for
human.
forgiveness later.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's
We'll
right.
get it later. And so that's the Camo Hat Club. If that guy needs help, just set him one up. The person you're working with, I could easily coach him through. But back to the weird thing, it took off this week. I got 3 or 4 emails about the Camo Hat Club. There is an appetite for that. If you won't do
Yes.
that, there's another group called menliving.org, and it's a virtual, and I've been on a couple of their stuff. He can do it online.
Menliving.org.
Oh, yeah. Good group of guys. I think it's based in Chicago. They have meetings, I think Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. Pop on. I popped on one on a Saturday morning. I did QPR training for their leaders because it comes up on their calls. It comes up on their Zoom. Great organization. I've been throwing a lot of people that way. And there's another one I'm going to give you for this person. There's a thing called Cope Notes. Cope Notes. You ever hear of Cope Notes? They will send this person inspirational text messages. I did it for a friend of mine who was going through chemo. And I didn't tell him I did it, and then he called on. He goes, "Did you do that?" I was like, "Yeah, I did it." But he saved a couple of them. He screenshot them and sent them to me. Cope Notes, and it's what's his guy's name? Crowder, last name. I can see him. He's a great guy. We've had some conversations. We're Half a Sorrow Foundation is one of the affiliate partners. So if they ask you how you heard about us, say my little foundation. I think we get a nickel. But I'll send Tim, our producer, some of the graphics they sent me. But Cope Notes is a great way to reach people without you doing it. Now, it does cost money. I had to pay for those 2 subscriptions. I sent one to my brother-in-law and one to this guy. And I love it. And I'm looking for other people. I'm incorporating it into my talk. I'm going to promote that and Men Living big time. So hope that helps you, Guy. It's tough when you're trying to help someone who feels helpless.
Yeah, and who doesn't have this? We have a level of coping skills that you learn, and I mean, it's hard, but I know what I'm supposed to do. But doing it sometimes because I get depressed. You said you were depressed. I mean, it's acute for me. It's not chronic, but you saw me when we see each other. I knew you were in a mood today. I knew something was going on. I could just tell. You saw me, a week or 2 ago, knew I was in a mood. We're attuned to those things.
You're attuned to the fact that moods come and go. And that's the other thing about these poor folks that are suffering from depression. You try to convey to them that this won't last. And it's hard because they think it will forever and ever, ever. But sometimes you have to go to the other side and say, "Do you remember some really good times you had in your life?" And you're like, yeah, my son was born. Did that feeling last? Like, no. First time he took a dump and I had to change a diaper, that feeling was gone. I'm gagging. I made this kid.
Temper tantrum. Oh my God, why did I do this?
Yeah, so that didn't last. So good times don't last, nor do the bad times. But when you're in the throes of that, it's super hard to see that. And we have to give him grace. So just good luck with your buddy. But if he wants to help setting up the Camo Hat Club, steer him my way. Tell him we talked about it.
I don't know. I'm the kind of person it might take 20 different things for you to do. It's not going to be a one thing. No it's like even things like, get up, get dressed, take a shower. I mean, those are small. It's not overhauling your life. Go for a walk. Try to set up time where you do that. Go outside, smell the fresh air, pet a dog. I mean, they're little things. To me, that might not work for everybody. But that's all when somebody comes to you, all you can do is share what you think, what.
Yeah, I get these cool feeds about people improving their lives because I love that stuff. I guess my algorithm figured out on Instagram. I'm only on Instagram and Substack. That's it for now. Facebook's a horror show. But it's funny because they'll say, clean your room. And then one guy said, no, just clean one corner of the room.
Yeah.
How about mark off a square foot and say, all right, that square foot's going down today. And then go back to bed if you have to. But you did something. Back to remember that a couple of years ago, the guy down at Texas A&M did Make Your Bed. The general did
Yeah.
that speech.
Yes.
Because if you do one thing a day, you made your bed. You come home and your bed's made.
Which I think is wonderful. Mine's not made right now, but I'm going to be making it when I'm done here. But I make mine every day, and there is a sense of, whoo, this is awesome. But I also know, and I felt this, maybe you felt it too, and so this person feels it like, and maybe it's my depression that I don't even know is there, like you said. It's like hard sometimes to look forward to things. And then when you do, sometimes I like look forward to something and then it's there and it's, not, I don't know. I feel like when I was younger, I just was, I don't know.
It comes and it goes.
Yeah, it's so weird. If anybody else feels like that, you're not alone.
I had one of those experiences, a long-term thing. I was going to run a marathon, and I did. And in 2001, I ran the Chicago Marathon. And for some reason,
Wow.
I had in my head, like, if I run this thing, and Sunday I did it, and, like, the next week will be awesome. I did this thing. I worked towards it. And sure enough, Monday comes around. I was working in a paper business. I got a paper complaint. I had to go up to Wisconsin. Like, nothing changed.
I know.
The only thing changed was I was sore as can be. So
I think that's how I was when I went to school. I had to wait because my dad died and I had to quit school, which was so hard for me. I didn't quit school. School quit me. I chose partying over class.
Yeah.
And so when I went back, I had this like mindset of everything's going to change when I do this. And I'm going to graduate with honors. I did. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get out and everything's going to be changed. It's going to change my whole life. And then I got out and I was like, nothing's changed. Still the same. Still got to get a job. Still struggling. Still in the rat race. I have some letters behind my name. That was fantastic, right?
Wherever you go, there you are, right? Yeah, that's you bring us with we bring our broken selves with us wherever we go. But the thing is, I watched a TEDx talk, and we could bring it home with this one. This dude talked about the key to happiness. I forgot where I saw it.
Please tell me. I'm sure everybody's waiting right now.
Lower your expectations. And it made perfect sense.
You can't leave us with that. I need a little bit of.
No, I'm going to go back to my college days, or like back when I was partying. Someone go, Dennis, you got to come to this party. It's going to be off the chain. Like, here I am trying to talk hip when I need a new hip. But
Nobody said off the chain when you were in college either. Right?
I know, but
it's going to be groovy.
Use your imagination.
It's going to be groovy.
Yeah, it's going to be. Oh, come on, I'm not that old. I'm not 60. Like, it'll be peachy keen. We're going to have root beer and floats. We're not, come on, not like Archie or something. Come on. So, a comic book character from the 60s. But someone, even today, someone say, hey, we're going to have this dinner party. It's going to be really awesome. You got to show up. And you go and it's meh. It's just meh. It was good. But then someone says, hey, we're just going to have people come for burgers. If you want to come by, come by. If you don't, fine. And you go and it's awesome. What changed? Expectation. I just stopped by for a burger and a hot dog. Ended up having a wonderful conversation with wonderful people.
Great point. Yeah.
It's weird. And I've learned to do that. Even lower your expectation around people. And it's counter to what we're told. Expect the best, you deserve a break today, everything, blah, blah, blah. Now, there is an expectation when it comes to picking important people in life, like my spouse,
Yeah.
The people you follow, the people that you look up to, yeah, expect much. But when it comes to general population, like your friend, anyone, lower the expectation. Clean a corner of the room.
I think the expectation for some people, for me, I don't know if anybody else feels this way, I'm curious, is what I was telling you, when you go through something really difficult in your life and you're at the absolute bottom, and you pull yourself up, you have an expectation that everybody should be that way.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not right. But I do. I work on it, I'm trying, but it is kind of baked into my life experience. And I don't want to hurt people with that. And I feel like I might have, but I'm now trying to figure out how I can backpedal this and help this person through the Camo Hat Club, which I absolutely love.
Connect them to me. Just, hey, Here's how it works. A couple guys on a text chain. Be consistent. We pick one place, same place every month, which is fine. I could eat the same place once a month. Same time. People will come. People will go. That's okay. And people will flow into your life and people will leave your life. I like to always say some people brighten a room when they walk in, some people brighten a room when they leave. just, just, all right.
I know a lot of people like that on both ends of the spectrum.
I'm probably on someone's list as,
And sometimes you might be a
brighten the
person
room.
that brightens the room that day, and then the next day you're someone that brightens the room when you leave, because our moods, right?
Oh, absolutely.
We energy we exude. Nobody's on all the time. Let's be honest.
No,
If you
no.
are, then you're the best faker actor I know.
Well, that's the person we worry about in suicide
Yeah.
prevention, the person that's
So
on all
true.
the time. It's hard. And you don't let your guard down. Back to our foundation, the Half a Sorrow Foundation. Share joy is a double joy. It gets real when you share your sorrows. And that laughing person that I have a picture of on
Robin Williams.
Yeah, that's doing great. And then you find out, wow, they're really sick or they're really hurting.
Yeah.
Exactly. So let's bring it home. But there's a plea at the end of this podcast. The lost teams, back to what we're doing at the Half a Sorrow Foundation. It all costs money. If anybody can help us in any way, shape, or form, be it support, attaboy, I take those comments, messages. Keep going, Dennis. Great. If you have the financial means to help us out, go to halfasour.org or sclostteams.com and say, here, keep going. The goal is to roll this out throughout the entire state of South Carolina and then help other states. So no matter where you listen, no matter where you live, if you need me to connect you with a lost team or some kind of support system, reach out. Reach out, Dennis at halfasour.org. I'm all ears. And it's a small, little, tight community we're in, this little grief bubble. But believe it or not, it's a small community because people won't admit they're in grief. But if we really were honest, it's it's the earth. It's the globe. If we were honest with ourselves, everybody has a little bit of grief, a little bit of trauma that they carry with them. So that's where I want to bring it home. If you could help out, we really appreciate your support. I appreciate your support with this podcast. It's a tough subject. Hopefully it makes sense to somebody when you listen to it. Maybe in a car ride or commuting to and from work, whatever. You say, well, you know what? They get it. And if you need help setting up a survivors meeting, say the word. Setting up a Camo Hat Club, say the word. There's protection and connection. And that's what we're trying to do. So stay in touch, folks. It's a tough subject. I'm Dennis Gillan. That's Jessica Seal. Jessica, you want to bring it home with some parting words of wisdom?
Have a wonderful week. and I want to say something really quick with your lost teams. If you can do that and support this, amazing. If you're not there, that's okay too. That's okay
Absolutely. Too. Absolutely. And if you know of someone that could have a visit, let me know. And I don't care where you are. We'll try to figure out something somehow, some way, even a phone call to that person. I've had some really good phone calls with people who've lost, and sometimes they just need to connect with somebody that's been down that path.
That's right. That's right.
Well, that's it, Jess. We'll bring it home right there. It's a tough subject. I'm Dennis Gill, and that's Jessica Seal. Thanks for listening. See you next time.